Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. 6:20 on a Friday night. There's a lot going off, isn't there? I see Clarissa Shields and Eddie are going at it. Eddie like a little crybaby. Well, I hope they've been tested. Shields and Marshall, because I've heard they aren't. What? They've been tested since July every week. We've had a pair of them. What's all that about? Just because your guys got busted trying to hammer everybody else's show. I've come to a common denominator that I've been looking all day at all past interviews and articles and, Tyson Fury, Joshua, 3 attempts been made over the last few years to make it. And I think it's all Eddie Hills, the 5-0 Iceman's fault. I really do, honestly. Then we've got other fights that didn't happen. Shields, Marshall. As soon as Eddie Hearn wasn't involved in that, it got made. Khan Brook. As soon as Eddie wasn't involved in that, it got made, didn't it? You know what I mean? And when Eddie does put one on, Conor Benn against Eubank, they want to take Eubank down to Skeletor status, like what I used to be like a couple of months ago, and they want to then protect Conor Benn when he puts a dirty test in for performance enhancing drugs. You know, where he punching people in the head, not playing table tennis like Eddie does at home with his dad Bazzer Epstein. None of that. You know, and I just think that it's all in bad taste, isn't it? Really? Do you know what I mean? Do you remember when Kell Brook went to Eddie and Sky to put Crawford Brook on? They wanted Sky money, didn't they? And Eddie slapped down his face because he said he weren't Team Eddie. He'd just given best part of 10 years of his life to Eddie Hearn, hadn't he? He didn't have a deal with Eddie. He's free to speak to anybody. You're offering show to Sky. What's the problem? Eddie gets a kickback off Sky. He's got an exclusive with him, or he did at the time. But Eddie took his bat and ball on, didn't he? And it's not first time. There's a couple of incidents where he's took his bat and ball on, but I can't mention them because it involves some people that I like and know. But Eddie likes to take his ball on when he don't go his own way. And I've come to the conclusion that my pal's just pointed something out to me. Good pal of mine. I've come to the conclusion that it's Eddie being told the word no. No, Eddie. No. A bit like when Carl Frampton left him. We were distraught over that one, wasn't he? Ooh, that was first chink in armour. Everybody knows, like I said, I've never seen Eddie like that before. Hey? That's what happens, isn't it? That's what this is, Edward. But I just think that if you're going to be told no, you have to accept it. But when you're grown up, privileged in a 14-bedroom mansion with that Robbo in limousine, dropping you off at school in a limo, he doesn't shout that about, does he? But it's true. The 147S, white American car, a limo, they all know, everybody knows, took to school in that, or picked up from school in that. What's all that about? Eddie's never had to worry about anything in his miserable little life, has he? Hey, rattling around in that big house on his Todd all the time. Spoilt little brat. That's what it is. My dad were a coal miner. If you say you're cold, Mum, I'm cold. Get a coat on. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm thirsty. Well, you know where tap is? Council pot. Mum, I'm hungry. You won't starve. It's 3 hours till your dinner. You accept the word no. And then when you ask to go on these fancy school trips abroad, you look at sheet teachers, gid you, which is like fortunes to go abroad, isn't it, with school? You know not to ask, don't you? Because you know. He's never had that, has he? So he's not geared up. He's not geared up for it, is he? To be told, no, Eddie. You're not geared up for it. You're not geared up for it whatsoever. He had it all done all his life, hasn't he? You can't handle the word no. Dummy has to come out, doesn't it? The dummy has to come out, like with Froch Chavez and all other fights, and that one where the guy's interviewing him and he's gone, good luck with that, and he walked off doing that. That's what 12-year-old kids do. 12-year-old kids do that, but he's never been told no, so he's not conditioned to it. He's not used to it because he's surrounded by yes men. Now that he's told the word no, you can't do that. He's trying to flip it on its head, but how? How can they flip this on its head? 20,000 people all had plans that weekend, 14,000 in hotels, 500 people were flying in as well from Europe and other places in the world. How many people have lost money or had to come to London for the weekend? Didn't get no didn't get no boxing. I'm not going to get refund, but they didn't get no boxing. Eh? And these tried to put it on. We all know what went on. They're not asking proper questions, media. Proper boxing journalists are not asking these people proper questions, are they? For example, the Daily Mail broke the story, didn't they, about Conor Benn? Right, so the fight's off now. The board pulled plug. They were pulling plug from day one. Gareth A. Davis said it. They were pulling plug from day one. Eddie had lawyers on job, but he's made out from day one. Oh no, we wanted the fight. No, no, he didn't. No. What I want to say is this: if Kugan Cassius or Boxing Social or IFL Boxing Social or Behind the Gloves Michelle Phelps, if they'd have got that exclusive, would they have gone and sold? Would they have gone and put it on their channels as a breaking story? I would have. Would they have though? I would have. No matter whose show it was, Dennis's or anybody, be on my channel. Would they have put it on there? Would IFL have put it on theirs? Because we've got Coogan going round now, trying to dilute everything. And we need clarification and all this and blah, blah, blah. No, we don't. You've got to tell the truth here. Conor Benn's put a dirty test in. So what you do then, if you're screaming innocence, you just say, well, test me B sample, because the A sample could have got contaminated because I've had nothing. Because everybody's looking at it as like, everybody's doing the job and we're all honest. And I'm a fighter and I've not had anything, any steroids or whatever, performance enhancing drugs. So my A sample's contaminated. It must be because I've had no. So please test my B sample. We're not getting that, are we? We've then got a delay and then they've gone and shot off to a UCAD test like Dylan White. The old tried and tested routine, but it's backfired on them, hasn't it? Backfired immensely. Backfired immensely, let me tell you, immensely. But what can you do? What can you do? They're going to do what they want, aren't they, all day long? What can they do? Like I've just said there, would Kugan Cassius have broke the story on IFL? No, he'd have gone run into him, wouldn't he? To Eddie, a bit like Dave Allen. Oh, Frank Warren's offered me a deal, Eddie. Frank Warren's offered me a deal. Don't match that, Dave. I'll match that, Dave. Don't take it. I'll match it. Oh, okay, Eddie. No problem, Dave. Apples and pears. Didn't match it, did he? He just didn't want Frank to be working with Dave Allen, but Dave Allen showed loyalty. He didn't have a deal with Eddie. That's Eddie all along, isn't it? Blocking fights and trying to block people and cause problems behind the scenes, getting people kicked off Twitter. Yeah, we know, Eddie, we know, but we're all over it now, aren't we? All those who got kicked off Twitter because of you. Bullying you. How am I bullying you on Twitter, Eddie? Putting videos on Porky's Corner when we used to be on Twitter. How's that bullying? Just pointing out things that you're doing in boxing that are wrong. And nobody believed me 5 years ago, did they? They do now, though, don't they? Because I stuck with it, didn't I? You know what I mean? It's one of them things, isn't it? What can you do? What can you do? But yeah, it looks like Eddie's in a bit of a pickle now, doesn't it? Having a go at Clarissa Shields and Savannah because they've got a big show on tomorrow, women's boxing. It's bad, isn't it? In my opinion, it's bad. It's bad, but these fights are not happening. I thought it was all about undisputed. Now it's just about a world tour, innit, and getting your grubby little hands on as much money as you can, innit? Do you know what I mean? I think it's end game for Eddie now, innit, Eddie? It's the end game. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send this to Eddie. And just so he gets it, because he might refuse it off me. If you all want to send it to him, feel free. It's eddie.hearn@matchroom.com. So it's eddiehearn@matchroom.com, but we dot between Eddie and Hearn, lowercasing. Eddie.hearn@matchroom.com. Feel free to send him this video. Eddie, not very nice, is it? Went boots on other foot, is it? Hey, it's not very nice, is it? Huh? Hey, running round telling whoppers constantly. You've told that many whoppers, you've tied yourself in knots. Nobody believes you now. You're like the boy that cried wolf. You keep going on about Tyson Fury. You tell more whoppers than him. Massive whoppers. At least he's as tongue in cheek, innit? Hey, you protected that fighter, Joshua, all these years and pulled wool over all our eyes, like your dad tried to do with behind when he said he was second coming of Ali. Do me a favour. Then he said he'd knock out Lennox Lewis. Oh my God. Who's Joshua's best win? Oh, who's his best win? Vladimir in his 42nd year, 18-month on settee, Fury's leftovers. You pulled the biggest con off to ever con the con, but you've been found out, Eddie, and you know, I think it's all over for you now, isn't it, really? Who have you got? Conor Benn's finished, isn't he? Joshua's finished. Dylan White's finished. Bellew's gone. Campbell, Hands of Foam. Where's he going? He's already been beat twice. He's had hometown decisions. Give it up, Eddie. But what I want to say is this. I want to end on this. Do you know your book, Relentless? I am relentless. Eddie Hearn is relentless. It's like that film, innit? Have you seen the trailer for that Relentless film with Judd Nelson? Judd Nelson is relentless. That's you, Eddie. Let's see how relentless you are now. You know, when you've had to overcome adversity because you've had no little blips in your little life. You've not been to prison. You've not had any health issues. You've had everything on a plate. You don't have to go to bed at night worrying how you're going to pay for stuff. Your kids are not going to get bullied at school because they've got wrong mate trainers or tracksuit on, are they? Or the mum's pulling up and dropping them off in a car that's not trendy. Well, your missus driving around in Porsches and Ferraris. You're all right, aren't you? Everything's all right on the Western Front down there in Stock, Ingatstone, isn't it, Eddie? Oh, yeah. Well, let's see how relentless you are now. Let's see the Eddie Hills comeback, or Eddie Hearn, whatever you're calling yourself these weeks. The 5-0 Iceman. You never had a fight in your life. Dennis Hobson took you outside on boardwalk. I'm going to punch you upside down. Your ass fell out. Your arsehole fell out. But hey ho, what can you do? But let's see how relentless you are now. Let's see a comeback from you now. Let's see a comeback. Let's see you go out, roll your sleeves up, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see how good you are now. Let's see. Let us see how good you are. You can impress me, Eddie, and I'll be Team Eddie if you make a comeback. I'll get on the Eddie Hearn bandwagon. I'll say, do you know what? He's come back. Fair play. Don't do it like this. Don't do it like a petulant child crying. Oh, I hope they're getting tested and trying to spoil other people's shows. You've put 9 fights on him, 12 years with Bricktop, and I believe he's tried to put loads more on. It's you that's the stumbling block because you don't want anybody to have any limelight, do you? You wanted to hog all that Sky deal for yourself, didn't you? People have moved on. Boxing's moved on without you. 2012 to 2017, you were top dog. Once Joshua got knocked about against Klitschko, poof, all bets were off, wasn't it? You went back into retreat. It was never going to go near Wilder. It was never going to go near Fury. Worry, really. He won't worry. You picked on Usyk. You thought, we'll have him. He's a small guy. You picked on Andy Ruiz. You thought, we'll have him. He's a fat, out of shape guy. Come unstuck, didn't you? Got put to kick by Ruiz, Joshua, and Usyk took him to school. He also took Chisora to school and put Bellevue on planet Jupiter. So sooner or later, Eddie, you're going to get somebody hurt you. But I just want to finish off on this. And I want people to say, okay, you was right. I called it holding that. WBA is screaming, aren't they, for these doctor's notes and that about Lee Wood's bicep injury. Lee Wood never had a bicep injury. He just didn't do enough tickets to put the show on. Never had a bicep injury, Lee Wood. Never had a bicep injury. So you pulled Lee Wood off the card, didn't you, to save paying him and paying opponent. Never had a bicep injury, Lee Wood. Load of rubbish. They just didn't fight an hard fight. And like I said, you were going to lose money on the show. Do your conkers, as you say. So why do you spin all these lies? You think boxing people are stupid? You've spun that many. Nobody believes you anymore. Like I said, the boy that cried wolf. So Eddie Hills, the 5-0 Iceman from Billericky, free by way of. Let's see you prove to us. I am relentless. You show us that you're relentless. Because I don't think you are. I don't think you've got the balls for the game. Bricktop's tried and tested, isn't he? He's still going strong, isn't he? Been shot and all sorts, bankrupt a few times. And look at Mick Hennessy. Got problems he's had. Look at Dennis Hobson. Problems he's had. You nicking his fighters. And court cases and big payouts and all due to boxing. But still going strong. You pick yourself up off the floor and you go again. Because these people have been fetched up correctly. They've not been fetched up in privilege like you. Trying to put people in ring to knock kids about that are depleted and you're not letting them replenish with fluids after weighing, and you're putting people, you're trying to get a fight on with people on steroids. Are you so far removed from reality? Are you so far out of touch, like the Tories? They just don't, they're so out of touch, aren't they, Tories? That's you, innit? You say it's working class. Look what you've done with pay-per-view. They're sick of you. Go quietly while you can, while you've got some respect, Eddie. Go very quietly while you can. And then you can come back in a couple of years and, you know, you might have a different attitude, but who's going to come and want to watch a Matchroom show now? Do you think the British public are stupid? Look what's coming now, global recession. And we've got you there trying to take liberties with everybody and people losing their money and not getting to boxing and losing their hotel money and all that. And you were trying to pull it off. You were trying to actually put the fight on. To hell with it all, whoever gets injured. Have you ever had a fight, Eddie? You never had a fight in your life. You've never had a fight in your life. You're a bully. You were bullying that little fat kid, Frank Smith, about to show everybody how hard you are. Probably hoping to get a fight with Jake Paul or something. You're a bully, you, an on-top bully, Eddie. That's what you are. And when it don't go right for you, dummy comes out, doesn't it? Eh? The dummy comes out, doesn't it? Like that, isn't it? I hope they're getting tested. Like I said, Varda have been testing Savannah and Clarissa since July. Every week. No tests were getting swept under the table, were they? The game's up, Eddie. Walk now. Go now while you can. All right, Eddie. Peace out. Keep on trucking, Eddie. Keep sporting boxing. Don't have nightmares, Eddie.